Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Astartes Anonymous podcast. Today, Red and I will be doing a part 2 to our 8 Succulent KITBASHERS episode. And joining Red and I today is a lovely little Italian man and a master green stuff sculptor. So, without further ado, I have once again been joined by a vengeful Night Lord and homebrew critic of the highest caliber, as well as a man renowned for his raw pasta-eating talent.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Tom, and these are my co-hosts.
Hello, I'm Red, and I'm going to kill the Dark Angel after this.
I wish he'd do that. But he won't. Hello, I'm Emmanuel. Welcome back.
Thank you, Emmanuel. So for anyone who doesn't know, we actually had Emmanuel join us for an episode a while ago where we basically just interviewed him. And if you enjoyed this episode and you enjoyed listening to Emmanuel and learning a little bit about him, I'd recommend you go check that episode out. It's our Green Stuff Master episode. You can find it from a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Really enjoyed doing that one. And yeah. So how are we both doing this evening?
Evening.
Nice. We are doing pretty good, my man. Unfortunately, this summer has been pretty inactive for me. But hopefully my sculpting and bashing judgment skills are not completely rusted up.
I had actually hoped you died. I'm terribly offended that you were here.
Fuck you, Red. It's good to see you back.
I never left. I just live here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in the walls at all times.
I'm in your fucking walls. Like any true Night Lord should be. And so, to start this episode off today, we wanted to quickly shine a little spotlight on something a friend of ours, Zarek, has been working on very recently. Zarek is an expert at crafting rules for tabletop games. She has her own tabletop game system. Is it called Caledon?
Yeah, it's Caledon. We talked about it in one of the previous episodes. I don't remember which one. Go back and watch all of them and find it.
And something Zarek's also been working on alongside Caledon
Jesus Christ.
is a set of homebrew rules. And I'll put them on the screen now. A set of homebrew rules for Warhammer 40k 10th edition for all of the Space Marine factions that got completely fucked going into 10th edition. So the White Scars, the Salamanders, the Iron Hands, the Imperial Fists, etc. Zarek has gone out of her way to create some game-tested and extremely well-polished and thematic rules for these factions. I know I've played with the White Scars rules, and they're wonderful. Didn't cause any problems with any of my opponents. I know a friend of mine at my local game store has played with the White Scars rules as well. He's a big White Scars guy, and he loves them. So if you're running any of those armies, and your local game group is totally happy to play house rules, really recommend you give a look at these. You don't, even if you don't use them, have a look at them. The quality, time, effort, and polish that Zarek has undergone to create these is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when people actually care about the hobby. Fucking GW.
I was about to say, was that a jab at James' workshop?
I'm going to find him one day. I'm going to find him and his mythical workshop.
I hope you do. And so, with that, let's move on very quickly to our models of the week.
Mm-hmm. First up for models of the week, we have someone from our server called Delamaru. He made, this is actually a model from RTLW, one of the coolest miniature companies that produce resin miniatures of different type of Warhammer stuff, from Eldar to Orcs to characters in lore that don't have their official models, because again, GW won't give us anything cool. Just more fucking Primaris. I'm not upset about the Ironclad.
Not at all.
Anyway, so Delamaru here painted up Uzes, or the Dread Squad Butcher from RTLW. It's supposed to be Uzes from the Night Lord Omnibus. They have a whole squad of them, and he's slowly working his way through all of First Claw, and it's just a nice looking Night Lord and a good representation of Uzes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll find that, just to the audience, you'll find a running theme throughout this video about how upsetty spaghetti our beloved Red is about the recent Firstborn losses we've all had to endure.
That would be two of us, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm desperately hanging on to hope by buying a bunch of Tortuga Bay stuff and hoarding all the firstborn kits still available.
Yeah.
I've bought like 3 fucking Vanguard Veteran and Desolator Squad kits already.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Because they will just sunset shit. Not sunset, this isn't Destiny. They'll just get rid of shit without giving us warning.
Yeah, I mean, Devil's Advocate, we knew it's going to be happening for a while. It's just, when it actually sort of comes and actually happens, it's still just terribly upsetting. You know, I was personally really, really upset by the loss of the Firstborn Tech Marine and Servitor Squad. That kit has done more for my kit bashing over the last 3 years than any other kit.
It's just gold.
It was a workhorse.
You know, it's even more confusing when they just released a new non-Primaris kit of Terminators with the new Leviathan box.
But they're saying those could be Firstborn or Primaris.
Of course. But the problem with this statement is we have seen lots of artwork now and models in the recent Standard kits with Mark 7 and other marks of armor within the Mark 10. So it's not beyond the stretch of imagination making a true-scaled assault squad saying they are both Firstborn and Primaris.
It would be lovely. I somehow doubt it's going to happen, but I agree, it would be just amazing.
If anyone's in disagreement that, the Primaris are the future, just look at the old Sternguard armors and the Primaris armors. It's so wildly different. The Sternguard Primaris, all they have is a cloth. The Sternguard had, like, trinkets and, like, emblems and, like, just decked out and all this stuff with a wide variety of weapons.
I mean, I'll preface this by saying I really like the Primaris Sternguard, but Red is right. If you have a look at the Firstborn Sternguard, they are so ornate, and it's really a shame that the Primaris Sternguard are just Blade Guard with guns.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's not make this a depressing episode, gentlemen. Let's move on to our second model of the week. We have something absolutely hilarious by another user in our Discord called It Was Me, Barry. And Barry has decided to make, a demon prince with a bullet casing for a head. I'm pretty sure that's a real bullet casing.
It is. It's a 9mm casing.
This absolute nutbag has taken a bullet, and there's no rhyme or reason for this. It just is.
Hey, Korn has brass as his, his sacred metal.
Yeah.
You know, I think this Demon Prince model is the most hideous fucking thing GW has ever produced in the last 15 years. Before the Dread Knight even. But this bullet casing is just top-notch. The best crown for the Prince of Korn.
I like to think that was just like the shell of a Titan's bolter thing that fell to the ground. The demon ran up and was like, oh, this is sick. I'm going to put it on my head. He can't see shit. He just runs around swinging wildly.
He doesn't need to see shit. He's got a bullet casing in his head. He's the man.
Korn guides his hand.
Korn guides his fucking hand. Yeah.
God, and when you mentioned the Demon Prince, I'm not going to get into it. I was going to. Well, like Emmanuel said about this Demon Prince being probably one of the worst kits ever produced.
Yep.
Because it just looks goofy. But if you look at the new Demon Prince, it's just It's just a 100% upgrade from this.
Yep.
I love the new Demon Prince. I love the new Demon Prince so much, honestly.
You know,
super biased.
There is someone at GW that still cares, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, the new Demon Prince, I mean, it's not really new anymore. It's kind of, it's coming up to a year old now, or at least from its reveal. But the new Demon Prince is actually a harken back to the second edition Demon Prince. If you put the two side by side, I'll put that on the screen behind us now. And I love that. I love that so much. Are you going to actually put
it on the screen, or are you going to blank on it again?
Red is bullying me for our last episode not the last episode, the episode before the last episode, where I did a brain fart and just forgot to put anything on the screen. Why are you bullying me? It was a very conversation-heavy episode. I didn't need it. It was fine. Right, before we move on to the main bit, guys, just give me 20 seconds. I'll cut this bit out. I just need to grab something.
Of course.
All right, quick, Emmanuel, get to controls. Knock Tom out.
I'm hacking everything. I'm hacking everything I can. Just give me a second. The news.
Yeah, you don't have much time.
I know. Okay, I'm in.
All right.
Just
kill his brothers.
Fast.
I'm back.
Welcome
I'm
back.
He's back. Get out. Get out. The operation's
What the fuck are you doing?
The operation's blown.
What the fuck are you doing? Stop it! Put that down. Put that fucking.
Okay.
Put that fucking, Put it down.
Is everything
Put it down.
good? Everything good? Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, stop calm the fuck down, Tom. Put the gun down. It's not even a real gun. You're British.
You won't get shivved, mate.
It's a fucking Nerf gun is what you got.
Shunk.
Oh, goodness. Right, so let's move on to our main segment today. We wanted to, once again, like our 8 Succulent Kit Bashers episodes, we wanted to highlight some absolutely amazing Kit Bashers in the community. Now, these are people, hopefully after this episode, you'll follow their social media, or at least take a peek at it, and maybe find some inspiration for your next Kit Bash. And to open this up with, our very first one is a longtime friend of Red and mine. Do you know Shiva as well, Emmanuel?
Not personally, but I have followed her for a long while now.
So Shiva was in our Hobbyist Battle Barge Discord. That's not the Discord link below. That's a separate one that we used to be a part of, or I think we're still part of it. We're just not very active in it. And Shiva posts in there regularly. He's a really nice guy. He's great for painting advice, and his Kit Bashes are so wonderful. He is if you go to Google Images and search Red Corsairs models, you know the Red Corsairs, Left Hurons, Huron Blackhearts shenanigans? Mm-hmm. You will find endless hordes of Shiva's models. Shiva was actually featured on a Warhammer community article last year because of this exact thing.
Yeah, he's the unofficial Red Corsairs guy.
Yep. It's that good. Because most of the Red Corsairs in the lore don't have lots of models or representation except for Lothuron for the forgeable models, so it's so nice and refreshing to see a member of the community get so much renown for his work.
Yeah.
What I really like about Shiva is that he's not really that into the whole homebrew stuff. He just really likes the Red Corsairs.
Yep.
But when he puts them all together, he has a philosophy of, like, all these models are from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like chapters and former legions and former alliances. And so he puts a lot of effort into conveying their former, like, history in the model. Like, this Night Lord, he has, like, the skin on the shoulder and little wings up top, and he's holding knives. He's, like, supposed to be a Shrive Talon for a kill team, which is a Night Lord thing. And another one, he has one that's an Iron Warrior with a big, like, rocket launcher, and he has hazard stripes on the rocket launcher. It's just really cool that how much effort and thought he puts into each of these models, way more than anyone else I've seen so far.
The great thing about it, I find as well, is the subtlety of his Kit Bashes is insane. I've never seen someone take so many Death Guard bodies and make them look so not Death Guard, but still Chaos. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely obscene. I'm bringing up on the screen now one that I really love. I'll put it on the screen now. It's a Lamenter. It is a Lamenter that turned tail during the Badab Wars and joined up with Lufthuron.
And knowing
Lamenter's lore, love this.
Knowing Lamenter's lore is so nice to see correct representation of the story, the curse, maybe turning to chaos even. It's not so out of the realm of imagination, you know?
It's not, no.
On top of that, every single model he has looks different. Like, they all have their own personality. And he's reused, like, sculpts of former bodies for different things, but every time he does, they always look different, like a completely new character to him. Plus, on top of that, his painting's fucking awesome. He's probably one of the best painters that I know.
He actually does GW's heavy metal better than GW, which is so, so good.
Yeah, I've tried painting a Red Corsair, and my god, it is... I'm not the greatest painter, because that shit was hard as hell.
Yeah.
The best part of his Red Corsairs, for me, are the fact that he's basically doing the Death Watch treatments to this faction. Every single one of these Marines just have these little bits and details calling back to their origins without being clowns, without being so wildly different from one another. When you see these models on the battlefield against you, you're gonna see Red Corsairs. If you're gonna look and stop and take a look on one of these models, you're gonna see his background. So it got the big picture covered and the small picture covered. It's that good.
One of the models of his that I want to bring to our attention is the Kit Bash of Arminius Valthex. Now, this guy is actually a named character in the Badab War, if I recall correctly.
He has a model, too.
And one of the interesting yeah, he does. And one of the interesting things about Velthex is he's got a very unique weapon. They're almost like electro whips. And somehow, with great effort, Shiva has recreated this model brilliantly. He's yet to paint it, if I recall correctly. But looking at the unpainted version, again, on the screen behind us now, this thing is just so, so cool. I don't know where he found those plastic whips from. Red, where the hell are those whips from?
They're from the Escher gang.
The Eschers.
Not the Eschers. Who's the fucking girl bosses from Necromunda?
Fuck, I'm gonna beat myself up for not knowing this. I don't know. But I know which ones you're talking about.
You put the models on the screen. That's what they are. I can't remember their name. My God, I don't. What the hell were their names?
Yeah, should be the Eschers. Yes. And
Yeah, it is Escher.
Escher gay. It
is Escher. You were right.
you was right all along.
Haha. See, there's the whip.
Yeah, it's actually 2 copies of the whip from the leader of the Escher gang squad.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucking cool. But you can see he's removed just enough. He's removed just enough to make it still look Space Marine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, if it wasn't obvious, that the original version of this model and character had these electro whips.
Yeah.
And to chaosify them the way he's done is just so good.
Even the big cannon on his shoulder.
A conversion beam of cannon, yeah. So cool.
On top of that, he does other things other than Red Corsairs. He did that Marine's Errant Marine right there with the half and half pattern.
Yes, so cool. He actually did a what was it? Old Black Legion scheme. I actually think this isn't Black Legion. I think this is something else, but he's called it Black Legion.
No,
but
it's
whatever.
They're called the Black Brotherhood. It was a sub-faction within the Black Legion that had the specialist color scheme on.
But the effort in the freehanding there must have been absolutely godly.
It's so old school.
The metallics are so smooth.
Right, shall we move on from Shiva and have a look at our second person, Hephaistoss Studios? So Red and I have known about Hephaistoss Studios for a very long time because both Red and I are very, very big on kit bashing Iron Hands and things that have an awful lot to do with AdMech and heavily sort of bionic Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to start by showing off his Apothecary Emperor's Children Leviathan Dreadnought.
It's insane. I love how he has a dude installed in the side of it.
There is a motherfucker in the side of the Dreadnought, man. This guy is just... Look at this motherfucker. He's just in the side of the Dreadnought, bro. What the hell?
I don't know what possessed them to turn a Leviathan into basically a Marine ambulance, but it looks fucking dope.
But he's just covered the claw in so much random shit. Not only that, I'm sorry to jump away from the kit bashing, but the paint job on this. You see the little vials and bullshittery he's painted all along the side of it. This little set of lights is actually a grenade launcher from a Redemptor kit. Oh my god, the guy's just insane.
Yep.
Yeah, he does a lot. He adds a lot of mechanical detail, and it looks really busy at first, but he always brings it together with the paint job.
But it's the right kind of busy. It's the kind of busy that instead of making you want to look away, you want to look deeper into the details to see what else you can find.
Yeah,
because those details are there.
It's one of the best representations of 40k tech, in my opinion.
Yes,
I agree
absolutely.
Completely.
Yes, there is lots of plain surfaces, but also so much details when you go in depth. So the eye doesn't get fatigued by the too much details, but if you flip the model, you see how much effort was put into just selecting the right bits and textures to put on the model. So it's just masterful.
One of my favorite things Hephaistoss has done was that Castellan kit bash.
Which one's that?
There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, this guy. I like it. Like this is still a game legal loadout, honestly, ironically enough.
Oh yeah, because it's a flamer on the end.
So he made it to where this axe is from the Deathwatch kit. It's a halberd that a Terminator usually gets, but because the Castellan is so
hold up.
chunky, it's from the Deathwatch. It's not Deathwatch, Deathwing.
That's it.
Kit.
Sorry to be an arse about that.
And he's just attached like this torch at the top, but also attached a backpack with a Promethium canister.
Yeah.
To where it looks like he doesn't tell you this, but if you look at it, it's clear that he uses that power axe as also a flamer, which is really cool.
Yes.
You could actually, I shouldn't say this so early in the video, but there are so many people on, because there's so many people on this list that we could apply this to, but there's so many models in Hephaistoss Studios' catalog that you could just get lost for hours and hours looking at stuff. I mean, look at this. This is presumably Abaddon. Heresy-era Abaddon. And it looks so natural. And once again, using our beloved Tortuga Studios body.
My boys. Mm-hmm. The best part about him is so quick, yet so much effort is put in every miniatures. So
yeah, like the way he converted it, it's not that complicated of a conversion, but it looks just like you'd expect Abaddon to look.
Yeah. My two favorite composition from his are the Blanche Black Templars artwork he shared a couple of years ago, where he manually sculpted and remodeled most of the characters from that iconic cover made from Blanche. And
oh yeah!
Also, it was one of the first to do that in the whole community, and got lots of praise and fame for that. But my second favorite is his use of Adeptus Titanicus fucking bits. Is the only one making them so seamless with dreadnoughts.
Well, that's actually brilliant that you bring that up, because we can't talk about Hephaistoss Studios without talking about his dreadnought conversions. I mean, we already spoke about the Apothecary dreadnought, but his custom ironclads,
Tom,
are ungodly.
If we and Red may, I think this is a common sentiment shared from me and Red. GW, this is how you do ironclads. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but he even made the
the Dread Knight.
He even made the Dread Knight look not goofy with a combination of Adeptus Titanicus bits and Grey Knight bits.
It's ironic because there's not even a Dread Knight in that kit.
Actually, sorry, I'll tell you what else is ironic. There's not even a single Grey Knight bit here either.
Yeah.
There's no Grey Knight bits. That's from the Blood Angels.
How you win.
Primaris and a Titanicus.
Is that good?
My favorite dreadnought of his, he took a Redemptor, which normally looks kind of dumpty a little bit, and he turned it into just basically a giant Cataphracti Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that thing is absolutely savage. I've seen this before, actually. This is insane. The thing that jumps out to me the most about this, I mean, there's so much... It's similar to the Apothecary Dreadnought. There's just so much going on to jump at in details. I love the claws, because I know where those claws are from. Those are from the Warlord Titan Adeptus Titanicus claws. I actually looked at them earlier today because I had to go buy one. They are so cool. The legs are also from Warlord Titan bits.
Like, but this shows how you can how easily it would be to fix the Redemptor's like flaws.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because its main flaws are that its leg ankles look too thin and its shoulders are a bit too rounded. But if you just square out the top and like make the legs look more armored, I think the Redemptor would be a worthy fucking successor to the box.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, actually, I mean, it's crazy as well, because I love the Redemptor. I've got nothing against the Redemptor. I don't want to bring any more negativity into this fucking video, but like no, it's fine. It's fine. We're just being honest. But the one thing I feel like the Redemptor falls short of is catching that 40k vibe of being ornate and grim. And we talk about in the lore about how Redemptor pilots just get burnt out. Fine, whatever. But the aesthetic doesn't match that. The aesthetic here, it does.
Yes.
Yeah, this looks like a gigantic, like, behemoth of a machine stomping across the ground.
It does. It looks insane.
And, like, going back, like, I don't... Like, the Redemptor itself, like, despite what I have criticisms about it, I don't dislike the Redemptor. It's just...
No, me neither.
It's not a box knight, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't catch that same feel. I'm guessing with paint jobs, it could vary all the time, and a Redemptor's cool if you use it in 40 and tabletop, but, like, it just doesn't have that same, you know, classic feel that like a box knot does.
Before we move on to our next one, let's just quickly talk about how talented of a painter Hephaistoss Studios is. Looking at these right here, this is a Iron Hands Cataphracti Morlock squad with a captain at the front.
Yeah, he's fucking
It's
nuts.
Once again, you know, the greatest kitbashers are the ones whose kitbashing can be only matched by their painting talent, and he does not let down at all. He's just so good.
He's really good at bringing back the Iron Hands theme of the fact that they augment themselves to hell. And even the Iron Hands have like kind of a boring scheme in like the artwork where they're just all black armor and silver hands. But this guy throws in enough like contrasting colors in key positions where it brings back that intrigue and that character to the Iron Hands.
Yes,
it's actually super interesting that you say that, because there's some very old artwork of Iron Hands where little bits of red are thrown into the color scheme, and he's done that here with his. And like you said, he's done it in a way that it still looks identifiably as Iron Hands, but a little pop of color just makes them stand out so good.
Yes. I think Hephaistoss Studios' main pro about every project he does is the embodiment of everything that should be done with a 40k army. I think from the painting to the kit bash, most of the thing we love about 40k is the uniqueness of our faction. The Dark Angels and the fucking Iron Hands got the same color scheme, basically, just black in the heresy, of course.
Yeah.
But he can do 3 different dreadnoughts, completely different silhouettes from one another, still making them look like dreadnoughts. He can make 1,000 cataphractes, making all different and not making me tired of looking at them.
Absolutely.
He's just capable constantly of pushing his imagination to make something different. It's the baroqueness, the Gothic style of 40k in its quintessence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, back when every single like not firstborn, but just Marine was, looked like its own character. Like their armor was different. They had different schemes on them. They represented like the battles they've been through, as opposed to like how clean cut 40k is becoming now.
Yes.
But not just that. I mean, to sort of contrast what you said there at the end, it also represents how 40k prior to Primaris really highlighted the sheer degradation of the Imperium, how it has regressed to this hyper-religious theocracy and I'm not talking about the Black Templars, but the Knights Templar vibe that the majority of Space Marines had to either lesser or greater extents.
Absolutely, yes.
That allowed them to customize themselves to represent their oaths and bindings and whatnot.
It's the
Black Templars were just the most extreme version of that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like that old John Blanchard that Emmanuel talked about. All the Templars in that art have a different like style to them.
Yes.
It's really sad that even the Black Templars in Primaris, I feel so bad being so negative about Primaris, because I love Primaris. I really like Primaris, but at the same time,
I don't think it's
you're right.
I don't think it's the Primaris Marines' fault. Like the concept of them, it's how they're marketed towards people. It's just that it's all Ultramarines. They're all clean cut. All their armor looks the same. Every single one is just a different, like a slightly different variation of the last.
Yes.
Where if you put enough thought and kitbash into making an army, you can make even Primaris have that same theme. It's just they don't have it at their base.
Well, I think that's what's special about this series that we're doing. And this is the part 2 of that series is highlighting the kitbashers that really bring that in, and sort of with that same vein. Let's move along to Actual Echo. Now, this guy, Actual Echo, is fucking worlds ahead of everyone else. And what I mean by that is, do you know the notion of like thinking outside the box? Mm-hmm. There's a box outside the box, and it's outside of that box in which this bastard thinks.
Actual Echo exists in the 5th dimension.
He is literally, when he closes his eyes, he sees the Eye of Terror, IRL. He is so fucking detached from humanity. Look at this fucking... Seriously, guys, take a look at this fucking idea he came up with for the Leagues of Votan. Now, you might say this is goofy, but to me, this is fucking terrifying. Could you imagine coming onto a Space Hulk and seeing some fucking jumped up Dark Age robot that looks like this? Holy shit.
I've been following this guy for a while. I love how all of his conversions have that really gritty, like, oh fuck theme that you feel like grimdark futures should have.
But even his dreadnoughts, he maintains his big vehicles and dreadnoughts. He maintains a simplicity without giving up that visual density. You know, the grim darkness that comes with that visual density, but still maintains that simplicity. It's insane.
I love how he adds like actual sheets of copper to his stuff.
Yes.
Like that copper's more valuable than the resin it's bolted to.
Absolutely, yeah.
The best part about the style is that you can look at these models and say, Yeah, it looked goofy to me. But 40K, again, at its quintessence, was goofy. It was always goofy. It was always freakish, grotesque. It's the gothic style of Ink 28, for example. We are looking at I didn't know him before now, I think, but we are looking at a master of this style, you know?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things this guy has done is he took Rogel Dorn, like Rogel Dorn's body, and made it into a space marine. Like just a gigantic space marine, but it's not supposed to be just a big space marine, because he did a heroic scale Inquisitor's retinue, and he scaled up like the Inquisitor and all the other people using like custodian parts. So to compensate for the marine of the retinue being so big, he used a Primarch body, and he painted it so great.
Nice.
Like this is how I found out about the Mastercrafted Miniatures, the people who sell those big shoulder pads.
Oh yeah,
that we use, is because I found his Rogel Dorn Kitbash, and he used the same shoulder pads on him. It just looks great. Like he's clearly using a smaller bolter, but somehow it looks like it fits.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does, absolutely.
It harkens back to some of the old art I've seen of Space Marines.
When you look at this model, you think the bolter might look small, but when I look at the original Tactical Squad, I think the bolter there looked too big. The heads and bolters...
Well, that heroic scale finds a nice medium between the two, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here, it's perfect.
You do have a point. Like, the bolter isn't supposed to be too big for a Marine in like, the artwork, and here it shows it. This Marine looks like it came out of artwork. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see he used Gilliman's head. He just cut off the fancy bits to make a scaled-up Mark 7.
Oh, the wreath,
Yeah, he repositioned Rogel's arms to fit with the body. He cut away some of the detail to make the chest plate less ornate and more flat to mark in with a Marine.
I'm sure the terges around the waist are all sculpted as well.
Mm-hmm. Guy's awesome. He also does like great kit bashes of Mechanicus Automata.
Yeah.
He makes them look really fucking scary.
They're unironically actually fucking terrifying. And again, with the paint jobs, running theme with this episode seems to be kit bashers who can paint as well as they can kit bash. And I love that. I love that so much. Because like we highlighted in our last episode in this particular series, it's not a bad thing. There's so many kit bashers who are exceptional kit bashers, but they leave their painting aside. But those kit bashers who can paint as well as they can kit bash are so, so special. And Actual Echo is just another incredible representative of that.
This is actually the guy who caused me to want to ask Tom to make me my Iron Warrior Demon Prince.
Would you like me to post it on the screen?
Yes, post.
Up here on the screen now.
Right now. I'm going to quickfire the actual Ferrinox model that I made and painted, and then I'm going to quickfire the fucking artwork you had made, because that shit slaps.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite things I have in my collection.
Right, gentlemen, let's move on to Last Light Creative. Now, we actually don't need to spend too long on this guy, just because most people viewing, if you're into the kit bashing scene or the sculpting scene, you'll probably know who this guy is already. His work on commissioned characters for people is absolutely astounding. He has a YouTube channel where he puts tutorials up for how to sculpt the kind of things that you'll want to learn to sculpt. And he's got a Patreon as well that also goes into that same stuff in much greater detail. There are so many works of his that I could point out and go, this guy is the best, but there's one thing this guy is the best at. He is the god of, and that is sculpted cloth and tabards on Space Marines. I'm going to bring one up right now, just a Space Marine covered in cloth and tabards. It's absolutely astounding.
Yes, I learned to sculpt cloth from him.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yep.
Holy crap.
I didn't know that. Holy shit.
My holy trinity of sculptors are Valbjörn, Amphiaris, and him. Just that good. I have at least 20 tutorials made from him on my playlists on YouTube.
Yeah.
One thing I like about him is that he does things other than Space Wolves.
That a jab at my brother Valbjörn there.
If he did things other than Space Wolves, it wouldn't be.
But that's it. So, listen, man, you're right, but at the same time, people love Space Wolves. There's nothing wrong about Space Wolves. But goddamn, his work on Black Templar models and models that are of chapters that have the similar vibe to Black Templars is absolutely insane.
He actually did a Conrad Kurz one. It's a bit further.
I don't know if it's this guy or if it's a guy later on. I think it's Last Light Creative. I could be totally wrong on this. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure he did a model for Valrak. It might be someone else on this list.
That was another guy.
Is he on this list? I'm sure he's on this list. Someone on this list did a model for Valrak.
No, he's not on the list today. We'll cover him in a future episode, though.
Oh, well, this series is set to continue. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
I do know. I'll show. I'll show you. Tom will put on the screen for you.
I will. Yes, it's a great model. It's a really didn't Siege? Actually, no, you're right. Didn't Siege Studios fucking do that?
No.
No, never mind.
Alfarnius or something.
Alfarnius. Yes.
Well, we did. Alfred. Yeah, whatever you said, Emmanuel.
We actually covered Anfaris in our last episode on this particular topic. So, sorry, Anfaris, we're going to prompt you again. Here's the Anfaris behind us. The picture of Anfaris' model of Valrak's chapter master. I was going to throw that up there now. Are you sure that was Anfaris? Did Rogel Dawn?
No, I thought you were talking about the Rogel Dorn one. Yeah,
no, I'm talking about his Chapter Master.
Yeah, Siege Studios did the Chapter Master out of... I thought you were talking about the Rogel Dorn. Well, Alfaris did a Rogel Dorn where he's returned to 40k, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, what's the Siege Studios one? I'm so sorry, audience. We are just fucking stupid.
Tom is stupid. I am a Night Lord.
No, that's Night Lord is a synonym for stupid, of course.
Of course.
My bad.
Yes, no Stramon words.
And your family.
That's okay. Right, let's move on to Requiem 82. So Requiem 82 was huge for me when I got into the kit bashing and sculpting scene. This guy basically made me learn about the INQ28 tag. If you don't know what that is, look it up yourself. It's a little bit convoluted, but if you search that tag on Instagram and have that as a favorited search on Instagram, you will start receiving so many cool kit bashes. INQ28 does stuff that is hyper complex, yet still simplistic. I'll bring up one of his guys now. It's actually, let me find it real quick. Here we go. It's this Imperial Fist he did with the Castellan a while ago. I think it's for Horus Heresy. Yeah, it is for the Horus Heresy. And it is just so fucking cool.
He managed to take one of my least favorite helmets and make it look cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I do not care for that weird studded helmet.
It's hit and miss for me. I see what you mean. But he's turned a Castellan into this sort of breacher captain with a thunder hammer, which I think that thunder hammer's from Necromunda?
Like maybe the Goliath? No, Orlok.
Orlok. Oh, okay. Isn't that funny how all these great kit bashers have something in common, and that's that they abuse the fuck out of the Necromunda kits. Yeah, I fucking love Necromunda, guys.
That's a nice source of inspiration there. Also,
Necromunda's so good. Yeah.
The funny part, the liked part of the Instagram post, there is liked by Emmanuel of the Lions and 2,000 others.
Yeah, I see it. But this is it. Requiem is so fucking good, man.
One thing I like that he's doing is that he's making a Lion Guard, because when the Lion came out, they just gave him Blade Guards. But he took like different sculpts of characters and is turning them into proper Primaris Lion Guard.
Yep.
Here's a fun one for you. He made Azrael before Azrael was done properly.
Yes.
That's just so fucked up design to me, man. I know, it's so cool, isn't it? And you can actually see, if you look closely with the way he's sort of measured up the mag to the rear end of the gun, it doesn't look like the bullets have nowhere to go like the actual design.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you put like the minimum amount of thought into designing something.
I'm not Requiem, he's not saying you put the minimum amount of thought in, he's saying that GW don't.
A bit out of character, I'm going to say, my favorite models of Requiem are not his Dark Angels. They are the best Dark Angels Primaris I have ever seen on the internet.
They are amazing, absolutely.
But my favorite models of his are his human gangs.
Oh yeah, his little gangers. Yeah, I've seen them.
Yes. So gangs from both 40k and also Age of Sigmar, because it's a little easy to do kit bashes of Space Marines, but it's a lot fucking harder to do proper human kit bashes from different settings, like Necromunda and Age of Sigmar, because they are all different scales.
The reason Space Marines are a bit easier to do, in fact, is just because they have so many predefined spaces for things.
Yes.
They are so uniform. And this is one of the good things about Primaris. We're going to shit on Primaris all day. One of the good things about Primaris is they are begging for kit bashing just because of how uniform they are. But Necromunda models and Gangers and normal-sized humans, they don't have that. So the work, effort, and fucking green stuff zealotry that goes into making these is unparalleled.
About that, just the model we are looking at the screen, and I know the model pretty well because I sweat tears and blood on that fucking thing, is the Chaos Cultist from the, 5 Eras box GW sailed around with the 5 different guys of the Chaos Cultists. Is worked on the torso and right arm with the flail, and is resculpted completely to have a different pose, to have an heroic pose, but most importantly, to not look like Chaos Cultist anymore. It's so nice. It's a Zealot from Necromunda, so it's so nice, good.
Right, gentlemen, we are burning time. Let's move on to Augustus Braass. Now, I know that all of us know who this guy is, or if we don't know who he is, we actually recognize a lot of his stuff. And something I need to preface for the audience. Some of these artists that have been put forward towards us for this episode were actually prompted by Moots, who isn't here today because he is at Swedish Scout Camp. Whatever the fuck that means.
Yes, that
It's
exists.
not real.
It's not real.
I have him chained up in the basement.
Either he's chained up in Red's basement or he's fucking with Northern European fucking woodland creatures and cryptids. But that's fine. He'll be okay. Moots is quite adept at handling the Windussi, so he'll be okay. Now,
I know.
one of the special things about Augustus Braass is his vehicle and dreadnought conversions. This guy is the guy for chaosifying loyalist stuff.
Oh, is he the one that made the big ass? Oh yeah, he is.
The big World Eater's Leviathan, yes. There's a few guys who've made super, super pivotal World Eater's Leviathans, and he is indeed one of them. We actually featured the other guy in our last episode on this topic. I can't remember his name, I'm so sorry, but with that being said, maybe go watch the episode if you're enjoying where this is going, because we definitely featured him, we put his stuff on. But the chaosification of vehicles and dreadnoughts that Augustus can produce is fucking unmatched. It's so good. His chaotic kind of trim talent is just incredible.
Yeah, it's so consistent also. Most of his models, especially the Khan ones he produced across the last year or so, they are so similar to one another, and he's so consistent.
Like that rhino he did, holy fuck.
He's making like 20 of those, yet they all look like printed from a fucking 3D printer. So awesome.
Holy shit.
It's so cool. It's so fucking cool. And as someone who's recently done a chaosified rhino, I'm actually selling it on eBay right now. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's really hard to make a good chaosified rhino. And the way this guy's rhinos look, or his chaosified rhinos look, is so incredibly natural and chaosy. It just blows me away.
Yes. My favorite models of
I
his.
like the bodies all like gunked up everywhere.
Yeah. I think the Night Lord in you is singing.
My favorite models of his are his 8 bounds with the bird chest and 2 twin chain axes he produced a while ago. There is a big shout out to be made to his painting style because it's so consistent and refreshing. The way he paint flesh and also rust on the bases and, dust and other particles is just outstanding to me. Because it also it's
again,
consistent.
Absolutely. And again, it's another kitbasher whose painting talent is matched by his sculpting and kitbashing. It's just so incredible to see. It makes me so happy to see kitbashers and sculptors that can paint with such an equal level of talent,
Also, there is much to be said about his kitbashing of vehicles because it's really, really hard to sculpt to kitbash vehicles around because most of the vehicles and bits from the vehicles from GW are not compatible to one another, mostly.
Yeah.
Except to making a big carnival thing with lots of things glued together. But the way he handled the corpses and chains and trims on his Chaos Rhino is to be praised, absolutely.
Right, let's take a look at the Bitzbasher. Now, the Bitzbasher was recommended to me for this video. I hadn't heard of him before, and I don't know if you guys have either. It was recommended to me by a regular in our Discord called Mr. Bones, and we've actually promoted or shown off some of Mr. Bones' kit bashing and painting in the episodes prior as one or two of our models of the week. The Bitzbasher is you need everyone here. If you play Astra Militarum, you need to thank this guy, and I'll explain why. You need to thank him because he is the sole reason that GW is still producing Bane Blades. for every 2 Bane Blades that are made, he buys one of them.
Are you shitting me?
The smallest thing he makes involves a Bane Blade. He is just buying... This motherfucker will buy 4 Bane Blades. Look at the screen right now. This motherfucker will buy 4 Bane Blades and find some fucking way to sew them together to create a giant tank platform. And the craziest thing ever, this guy doesn't give a fuck about the Imperium. This guy is 2 things. Chaos and Orcs. Look at this piece of shit. Look at this crazy yellow fucking thing. How insane is that?
That's some bad moons.
That's proper orc vehicles and all my boys. Yes.
Oi, lads.
Proper orcish.
Oi,
Yes.
lads, this fucking tank is proper orky, lads. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Kill the Australian one.
But seriously, the Bitzbashers sort of conversions involving tanks and Astra Militarum vehicles, only to turn them into giant orc monstrosities, is insane. And he's not made, to my knowledge, he's not made a single loyalist Space Marine thing ever. I put on the screen right now, it's his Nurgle Plague Tower. Now, if you played Dawn of War back in the day, or the Unification mod, you'll recognize this fucking thing. It doesn't exist in Warhammer today as a playable anything. It's just a Death Guard-ified Baneblade, and it's so fucking insane. This whole fucking thing is a kill team board, just on its own. It's obscene. It's absolutely obscene.
The comment about is never made a loyalist marine. All I can say about it is based, Chad.
Fucking based.
Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can, most of these.
He did kind of make Lehman Russ though. He made loyalist. He made like 40k Lehman Russ, and the guy's got a beard the size of my entire body. And I'm kind of here for it.
Everyone make mistakes once in a while, so no need to shame in it. Yes.
It's not because it's Lehman Russ. It's because it's Space Wolves.
Yes. No, it's because it's both. But beside
that's going in the book.
What is it? We're taking the piss out of Space Wolves and Red staying silent. This is so weird. Why aren't you talking, Red? Like, this is your time to shine. What the fuck?
There's nothing left to say about Space Wolves that I haven't said already.
Every Space Wolf that died on Prospero was a gift.
Yes.
But look at this. One last picture. I need to screenshot this fucking shit. This is a pair of chaosified Baneblades that have basically just been molested with parts. It's so insane. We're going to jump to the next guy in a minute, but I just wanted to show off this one last thing to you guys. It's so cool.
Yes, it's so easy to overdo this kind of things, but the way it's done is also, this one, consistent, is a style, and is trying to take the model and completely change it around as it should be, as 40k should be.
But it still looks like it fits in the setting just fine. Actually, I kind of touched on it before, but to be honest, the way that the Bitzbasher, aka Jason Lofstrom's models work is they actually, all of them, they just look straight out of Dawn of War. They just look straight out of Dawn of War. And it's so fucking cool. It just makes me happy.
Yes, it's the...
There aren't enough vehicle kit bashers anymore.
Right, gentlemen, we have one left. We have only one more to go through, the Serrated Sun. Now, this was actually brought to our attention, and I've never seen Serrated Sun before. Maybe I have in passing. I haven't passed, maybe. But this was brought to our attention by our beloved Italian, Emanuele.
Yes.
Yeah, he's basically better Emmanuel.
Fuck off. You absolute piece of shit. I could concur with this, but the fact you're saying just fuck off. Anyways.
The Truth Hurts manual.
Anyway, fuck off. I'm not gonna. You have so much little time, so fuck off. I don't know exactly why I love Even so much. I don't know if it's even or. But
come on, Emmanuel, give us a Serrated Sun model for me to bring up and put on the big screen. Come on, give me one.
It was Gal Vorbach, it's been posted up there. That one. The way
this recent the Sons of Horus Gal Vorbach sort of demon thing.
The way
Fun fact, the Gal Vorbach for the Sons of Horus were called the Luperci.
Because they were pussies.
I never knew that.
Yeah, they were their version of the Gal Vorbach. It's in the book. Look it up.
Look it up.
So my favorite part about his style is how his sculpting absolutely it's seamless to the resin or plastic bits he's introducing to the model. The way he sculpted cables or the way he resculpted the mask of this helmet is just so seamless. If it was painted up, you wouldn't able to notice if it was sculpted or not. But the favorite part about his conversion, his Sons of Horus army, is that is so. Everything is done so far should be more praised by the community. It should be the Forge Temple. Forge Temple is renowned for its Dark Angels. Serrated Sun should be.
Didn't we cover Forge Temple in our last episode with you? Didn't we?
Exactly. Forge Temple was so fucking inspirational to me because of this style. I think everyone who is engaged with Sons of Horus, Black Legion, and even Luna Wolf's Law should look up even. Because its style...
Oh, so you mean look at Serrated Sun, you mean?
Yes, of course, sorry. Yeah. Serrated Sun. Because he's constantly improving. It should have at 10 times his followers counting. And I'm gonna... Look at the Plague Marine you just showed up. The way he's just reshaping it all from a Tortuga Bay model to directly reference the old style Plague Marines before the 2015 Dark Imperium restyle of the Death Guard.
Well, it is funny though, because it does look like what you would imagine a Plague Marine, a modern Plague Marine would look like.
Exactly.
But it how do I put this? So if you took one of the old school Plague Marines and how dumpy they look, and they're still cool as fuck, but they're dumpy as hell, and no one's going to tell me they're not.
Yeah.
And you took one of the modern Plague Marines from the Death Guard, you could put one of his slap bang in the middle, and it would belong there. And that is just so cool, And once again, we can't... It's really interesting. We can't praise enough these KITBASHERS. And this is I don't know how many we've shown in this video, but we can't praise the KITBASHERS enough who support and use Tortuga Bay in their kit bashing in conjunction with Games Workshop bits, and that is just a testament to how incredible Tortuga Bay's stuff actually is.
Absolutely.
I just love that. I love that so much.
I already said it in the last episode where it was featured, but I think Tortuga Bay is the best company right now in the third-party piece market because
absolutely.
They're the only one. Not the only ones, but they're one of the strongest that still are keeping the Firstborn alive.
Yes.
I'm currently working on a project to make a full Firstborn army using their bodies.
Imagine that, getting bombed by Russia, yet at the same time still being one of, if not the best bits and bodies retailers in the world. Not just in Europe, across the entire planet. That's insane.
Speaks to the resilience of the Ukrainians. Holy fuck.
It really is.
Slava Ukraini
Those guys are fucking champions.
Slava Tortuga.
Absolutely, yes.
Slava Tortuga.
I once again would like to highlight that the fact they were bombed and they still shared their work in progress of stuff people suggested they should do.
Yeah. I mean, going off topic for a bit, away from the KITBASHERS, just talking about Tortuga Bay. I remember when the war started, and I was watching Henrik's. Henrik is the guy, I believe Henrik's the guy in charge of Tortuga Bay.
Yes.
I remember watching his stories on Instagram.
It was fucking terrifying.
It was terrifying because you'd see on one part of his story, you'd see these lovely models, and then you quickly jump over to the next one, and it's literally videos of bombs dropping, and it's like, holy shit, how are you still in business? And he's just there like, we're in business because we need to be, but at the same time, we have this absolutely unstoppable passion for this, and it's just, oh my god, it's so admirable, honestly. The guy is an actual legend.
It is.
And his whole team are just so fucking unstoppable. I love them, honestly. Anyways, gentlemen, we need to look at closing this episode.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, guys.
That's right, folks. At the end of this episode, we will be live streaming me executing Emmanuel the Lion.
It's happening, guys. You asked it, and we're gonna
Fuck
deliver
you.
it. So of course.
That's a piece of shit.
That's what you get for being a Dark Angel.
That's
what you get.
Oh, hey there. Got kinda crazy at the end. Had to kill the others. Just relaxing here with a bit of Nostromo vintage. If you like the podcast and want to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel and maybe hit the like button. Oh, and don't forget to look up our other social media accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And remember, don't commit any crimes or I'll come for you late at night. Dave Dominus Knox.